Well, happy Wednesday. Happy Wednesday night at 6 p.m. Thank you all for joining with us from all over the state. What a great crowd we have tonight. I'm Steve Carver, talking to you from my home office studio and dog house here in Dunn, North Carolina. Welcome aboard. This is my presentation number 1039. Well, on my journey to entrepreneurship, been doing it for 60-some years. I want to thank you for letting me join you on your journey as well. I'm not a lawyer, or accountant, or some type of professional advice giver. I'm just a fellow that's been in business for 63 years. I helped about 600 people get their businesses started, and happy to share with you some ideas, maybe a little wisdom mixed together there, and mistakes and how to avoid mishaps. But mainly, I'm just giving you free advice with the best will I can. First advice I want to give you is always get a good second opinion on any decision you're making that's affecting your business or your family life or your financial security, and a good place, maybe the best place I know of to get good free advice related to small businesses is a small business center at the community college near you. Tonight we're sponsored by the one at James Front Community College over in Kenansville, and John Hardison and Tanya Braswell work real hard over there to keep us going, and they'd be welcome to talk with you or to set you up an appointment. Here's a photo of John and his phone number and email address. If you don't know the small business center near you, just write in chat or send me an email, and I'll be glad to hook you up with the small business director close to you, and they would love to talk to you and help you move forward with your business. Tonight is the second night of a series of 5 classes that we're giving on business management and customer skills. This is a 10-part series, 2 parts for 5 nights for a total of 10 hours. And if you are able to keep joining us and attend the rest of the classes, you'll be eligible to win a nice certificate. This week we're talking about 15 or 20 businesses to start with a small amount of money, and also customer service and how to keep Raving Fan customers. Next week we'll be talking about forecasting and negotiating. We'll dive deep into those skill sets to help you, followed with how to keep employees and become a dream manager. And then on April 19th, we'll wrap up this little series with pricing strategies and conquering the competition. Got a little bonus class on April 11th on Tuesday night. All these other classes are Wednesday, but on April 11th, Tuesday night, I'm going to give a special class on starting a lawn care or landscaping business. I did that for about, one of my businesses I was operating for about 15 years. So I've got a real good basis of knowledge there and have added to it through the years. So that's a real good class for you or anyone else that you know of that's thinking about getting into the lawn care or landscaping or mowing contracting business. I can give you a lot of good ideas there. There is a certificate you can earn, and we'll be happy to do it for you. Again, all you have to do is attend 4 out of the 5 classes, and that bonus class will count as one of them if you want to take it in. Lots of good handouts have been sent to you. If you signed on without getting handouts, make sure you in the chat board that you tell me that you want me to send you the handouts for tonight, and tomorrow I will email them to you and be glad to do it so you can keep them for your business. One of the handouts is 40 Street Smart Skills, which is 40 small daily lessons with video links that you can go to that is very valuable to you in helping build your basic knowledge about how to be a small business owner, to help you with your self-esteem and with your self-control, self-confidence. And I get a lot of good reports on people saying how valuable these little skills are to you. You can learn one a day and help you for the rest of your life. Anytime you think about starting a business, it's always first thing we have to figure out is how we're going to get started. And I want to congratulate all of y'all because you made the first step in at least trying to sit down and let's put a plan in place, see what you can learn to get started and maybe start a full-fledged large business, or maybe it's just a side hustle that you're interested in, or somewhere in between. And I'm glad to help you on any of them. I've done them all and still do them as often as I can because everything changes so quickly. We have to be learning it every day. But I'll need to ask you, and you need to ask yourself, why now? What's driving you now? So if you write me a letter or an email asking questions about this or that, make sure you include in there about what's motivating you at this point in time, so that I'll be able to help you better, and that'll go a long way.
Steve.
Yes.
You're not coming in that clear.
Volume-wise?
Yes.
All right, let's see if I can improve that. Thank you a little bit. Does it need to be louder?
No, it's you're breaking up.
Breaking up.
Yeah, and you're echoing.
Right, that too.
All right, that sounds like we're getting back to the trouble we had before when the PowerPoint was working. Stay on the line with me there. Is it any better like this, Edna, when I move the microphone closer?
Yes, that's a lot better.
All right, I'll try to do that and hope that it'll do it. If it gets so bad you can't understand me, I'll turn the PowerPoint off. But if this will work, we'll try it like this. Is it okay now?
Yes, I can hear every word you're saying now. That's more clearer.
All right, thank you very much. I needed that. So the question is, why now? Why are you doing this now? Because that may have something to do with the advice that I would give you, or what it is. Is it that you're in an emergency situation, you need to move forward in a hurry? There may be some options that we have, and I'll cover a lot of them tonight, but that motivating factor is going to be really, really important. And what is your goal? What for? Why are we doing this? To make more money, to broaden your horizons, to have more fun? You got time on your hands, you just are tired of what you're doing, you want to branch out. Know in your mind why you're moving forward, and that has something to do with it. And then how soon do you need actually to start making some extra money or to put this plan in place? Because I need to tell you, to get a meaningful business in place, sometimes it takes 6 months to 6 years, just depending on what's going on. The ones we're going to talk about tonight, and we're going to start with a small amount of money, usually it doesn't take but a small amount of time, so that's a good thing. And what type of business will work best for you in your new side hustle or new adventure? Why would you pick one over the other? So this is when I need to tell you, when you're figuring out the type of business, something that will help you to know is the difference in a business that's selling things that people want or things that people need. Things that people want are usually more profitable for you because people are out searching for it. They want it. Their demand comes into place. They're more apt to pay more money for something because they've got the itch to buy it. The things that people need, that's going to be a more sustainable business for you because they will be buying things they need weekly or daily or every month, which really helps you establish long-term customer relationships, which make a lot of difference in how sustainable your business will be. And of course, the perfect scenario is to have some products in your business or service in your businesses that serve both the needs of people and the things they want, and then you'll have a better balanced business. So just keep that in mind. That balance is very important. So as we look at these different opportunities tonight, what's moving you in the direction of these things, the different questions that we would want to ask and see if it kind of fits your situation. How much business knowledge do you have about this type of business? Do you have some capital, some money to invest, or what we call in the entrepreneurial game, do you have skin to put in the game? What's your time situation? You've already got a full-time job maybe, or a couple of part-time jobs. So there's no reason to plan and start a business that's going to require more time than you have to invest. So we need to identify that. We'll do some surveying to see if there's a demand for what you want. And are the demographics in your area Do they match up to the type of business that you want to do? Maybe you make the best banana pudding in the world, but if there's not people right in your area and a lot of them willing to pay a good price for a banana pudding, maybe that's not the best business to have. So we need to survey and see if there's some demand for what you're thinking about doing. Risk taking is a factor for all of us. Some folks just are so nervous, don't feel good about taking any risk, and others are different. One of the things about the seminars and webinars that we offer is that we can help you understand the risk management tools to get your business started without feeling like that you're getting ready to jump off a cliff. Because pretty much all the businesses have been around for a while, and we all know that there's certain risk involved, and we can certainly help you avoid those that might hurt you. Now we come to what are your skills individually. You know how to sell, you know how to market, do you know how to merchandise? How about forecasting and negotiating, video, planning, structuring? All these skills enhancements are going to be very important for your success in moving your business forward. And that's another place where staying in touch with programs like this and those offered through the small business centers can go a long way to help you become a more professional entrepreneur and have a business that has a better chance to make it for a while. We can show you how to do marketing plans and budgets and learn the difference in the two of them. There's a big difference. I want you to know the difference. I want you to understand how profits are actually made in a business, because it's just not, I'll sell it at one price and buy it at another price, and whatever's left is the profit. Well, it's not that way at all, because there are many costs of doing businesses that have to be taken into consideration. Excuse me. And then there's the fine arts of selling, understanding upselling and pricing and price points and negotiating, and those are going to be important to you as well. So just saying you want to start a business is fairly easy to do, but making yourself ready to do it and to be profitable is something else. We'll come back to, in coaching folks that are starting their business, we'll come back to stressing the importance of right from day one, your determination to maintain high standards, to be a professional, to have the talent it takes, to understand the housekeeping rules of a small business, to understand customer service and hospitality, which we're going to zero in on tonight to give you a good short lesson in customer service and maintaining those standards. Now let's just kind of lean back and think think with me. When's the last time that you held an onion in your hand and was peeling the onion? Isn't it amazing how many layers there are in an onion? You can just keep peeling and peeling and peeling, and it's just amazing how many is in there. I use this as an example to tell you that in every type of business, there are a lot of layers of different things that relate to that business that make it a whole. No matter what it is, whether it's retail or wholesale or trucking or farming or raw materials, there's a lot of different layers or a lot of different components that might become a small business in itself. So I say this because you may be already involved in some type of business that if we look at it and think about it, maybe there's some side businesses, some places where some middlemen or middlewomen might be able to find a niche to make some profit. And I'll show you lots of those as we go, but on the screen, on the slide, I'm showing you generally there's about 25 variations or different layers for every business that we can find a niche market in there, excuse me, to start a new one. So keep that in mind. So, and if you don't see that as we go through our program tonight, and maybe you're really interested in a certain field or a certain type of work that you want to do, a certain type of construction or art or engineering or technical services, but you just don't see where there's a little business in there that might suit you, drop me an email, let me know about it, and I'll help you explore that because I've got a lot of experience in doing that. In each business, when we get started, when we decide on that type of business that you're going to go for, and I'll tell you that there's some vital signs to make the business keep working. It's just like a heartbeat. If you go to the hospital and you're in trouble, the first thing the doctors at the emergency room want to check are your vital signs. So the vital sign of every business, or whatever the types are pretty much constant, and it's a thread that runs through all of them. So I want you to pay attention here, because your business, whichever one you decide to go for, will benefit by having you to pay attention to your vital signs. And the first one is entrepreneurs have to fight distractions. We have to make time, just like y'all made time to be with me tonight. You have to make time every day to do certain things to move this business forward. And the type of things that you have to do to make it move forward, and do it in a structured way. I don't use the word profit centers a lot tonight, and a profit center is something that you do in your business that makes money. So I want your business to have at least 5 profit centers so that you'll be able to have income all year round and with different groups of people. So different profit centers help you bring money in, diversify for an income that comes to you sustainably year round. And the profit centers don't have to be miles and miles and miles apart. Matter of fact, we want our profit centers to be fairly closely related so that we can enjoy upsells, which we talk a lot about in our webinars and seminars. I want you to have 5 profit centers, but there's 3 different types, and you'll need at least one of each type. You'll need a profit center that brings in new customers. Especially in a new business, you're going to need to bring new customers in every day, because you lose customers, you'll lose a third of your customers every year. So we need profit centers that bring in customers every day and build traffic. The second type of profit center that we're going to need in your new business is some that create repeat business, seasonal, monthly, or contractual, things that bring people back. Bring them back in a regular way so that you can have repeat business regularly. And remember, these are the type of things that people need usually that will bring them in, and it's so you can have a sustainable profit year round. And then I'd like for you to have profit centers that create big ticket items. Sometimes that you can make good big deposits in your bank account so that you're able to set aside some money to build a nest egg, to be ready for the next problem that comes along. If you don't plan to have big ticket sales, you will never have them. So it's something that you have to plan to do. And we can help you with that in our webinars and seminars related to business planning. The 3 words that all of us as entrepreneurs will love and learn to know that part of our 10 commandments in business. The 3 words are, by the way. We want to have a business that we're always able to say to our customers, and by the way, I've got this, or and by the way, we've also got that. So that when a customer buys one thing from us, one product or one service, we automatically have our next profit center that we can recommend them to consider buying from us as well. That is so very important. It is one of the biggest deals of all to help your business grow and have more and more profits. So other vital signs, including how you market your stuff. You can be the best there is, but you got to let the people know, and we do that through marketing. We can't be all things for all people, but we must be everything for some people. And those some people, we're going to pay attention to them and really let them know we appreciate them, and they will become your raving fan customer. Now, you don't hear those words a lot tonight, raving fan customers. They are your best asset for cash flow. That raving fan customer will keep coming back to you year after year, but more importantly, will send more people to you to do business. One of the things you got to have in a vital sign is a database. We must stay in touch with our customers. We must send them emails. We must send them text messages, depending on the type of business we have. And we need the discipline to create this database so we can use it on a regular basis. This week, my virtual assistant and I are sending out 6 emails to our different databases, doing it very easily, very inexpensively, but we're able to do that because we had planned for it. So we'll be in touch with approximately 6,000 customers this week with emails, and probably spend less than $100 to do that. I call that keeping fresh bait in the water. If you're going fishing, you better have fresh bait in the water. If you're going fishing for customers, your fresh bait is your promotions that you're sending out, telling about what's happening now and keeping them interested in your business. This is just part of what we do. This is part of what every successful business does that's planning on being here a while and growing and creating a good customer base of people that'll do business with you a long time. So have you thought about in your business that you want to have, do you want it to be a business where you work at home, do everything at home? Or do you want it to be a business where your base is home, but basically you're going to head out on a truck or a trailer or go to other places and do the business, but still your office is going to be at home? Or the third option might be that you don't have an office or a store downtown or somewhere else, bricks and mortar freestanding, where the customers will come to see you there. That's the 3 different types of businesses. Of course, one is more expensive to operate than the others, and vice versa. The most expensive one to maintain, of course, would be a bricks and mortar business, because there you've got additional property, real estate, rental, insurance, and expenses that go along with it. The least expensive way to start a new business, of course, is to just work right out of your house and try to keep your overhead down low. And then in between is my office is going to be at home, but I don't hit the road to go see my customers either as a craftsman or doing service work or virtual assistant that goes and meets people at their own offices. Which one are you going to have? It's important that you go ahead and think about that now, because your business plan will be different with each one. I do all 3 and have done all 3 through the years, and therefore my business plan would have a lot of different sections in it depending on which part of the business that we were talking about. So, you're thinking you probably don't work at home, that'll bring in a certain amount of things to consider. If we're going to hit the road, go mobile, that's going to be important too. And of course, our bricks and mortar business has different plans that it can be involved with as well. Whatever it is and whatever you decide to do, if you want special information on the 3 different types of businesses, just let me know and I'll be glad to send you the study guides that apply to the type of business that you're thinking about doing. Let's get some water here and get started. Working in the equipment business for 60 years, and the equipment I was in was a farm equipment, industrial, and construction business. So I was able to help a lot of contractors get started by helping them get their backhoe or their bobcat or their tractor or their Skytrack, helping them get some equipment so they could get their business started. And then I would work with them on a lease to own plan or finance plan on the equipment through the years to help them keep going. So I had a chance to help many hundreds of folks do that. And then now for 15 years working with entrepreneur training, I've seen lots of folks get started. So I'm really pleased to share with you what I can. Whatever type of business you're thinking about getting into, I'll be real surprised if I hadn't been involved in it before in some way, helping someone or know someone that has. But here's the first thing I want to tell you, which is no surprise you. There are a lot of businesses out there for sale right now. Any baby boomer, a baby boomer is someone in their late 60s, 70s, or 80s, that have been in business a while, own their business. But I'll guarantee you that if they cross the 70-year-old mark, like I have, they want to sell their business or will have an interest in it. But you know what? You won't see for sale signs on businesses like you do on houses. Why is that? Once a business owner puts a for sale sign on their business, customers start drifting away or expect them to give stuff to them at no profits. Employees start drifting away looking for a better job, and businesses just generally start going downhill if the owner ever puts a for sale sign on it. That's just the way it is. So those businesses that you see transfer from an old management to a new owner to someone that's been in the business starts taking it over, those businesses usually flourish because you got a new input of energy and a good way to do it. So if someone in your area or you know where there's a business that's just like what you want to do and the owner of it has been there a while, you're not going to make them mad by walking in and saying, I really love your business. I've admired it for years. And if you decide to bring someone in to help you with it or to sell it or to turn it over to, I would really appreciate a chance to talk to you. Don't be afraid to make that conversation, because that's usually the least expensive way to get into a new business, is to buy one that's already established. Some people in the business world will tell you they never ever intend to start another business. They will always look for a business that's already established and see if they can take it over or sell it or buy it from the owner or work out an arrangement. This is not that hard to do, and there's a lot of folks like me that will help you do it. Why? Number one, you got to establish customers. Number two, you got to establish marketing plan. Number three, you probably got some inventory already in place or some special equipment that would cost you lots more money to buy new than what's in place. So just keep that in mind. And if you need help determining the value of a used business, not a used business, but an established business that you're thinking about buying, I'll be glad to send you some footnotes on that and help you any way I can. But that is always the best opportunity to start a successful, sustainable business, is to take over one that's already moving down the track. Number one, we're going to go through a list of things that you may or may not have thought about, businesses that you can make some good money and not have to spend hardly any money to do it. The first one that comes up as a good example is being a ferry service for automobiles and trucks. Contract drivers are all over the highways working for new and used car dealerships and auction companies, moving cars from point A to point B. Good pay, good money, very little responsibility. You don't need anything to get started except a driver's license and a good reputation and the ability to work. These very good contracting business you can get started. And every used car dealer, every new car dealership, every used one, every auction company hires sometimes dozens and dozens of folks as private contractors just to move their cars from point A to point B. It's kind of a great little economy out there that you can pretty much work your own hours on them too, and just enjoy it. If you enjoy riding and driving, that's a good opportunity to start a new career almost. Some folks who are on air and online basically helping other people start business plans. If you're good at business planning, if you've maybe been in business for years, you understand the process, helping folks on here. So it looks like we got about 18 people on board with us right now, and probably 15 of you would like to have somebody help you get your business plan started. So if you can find someone that does that for you for pay, not a bad thing at all. We offer a lot of that free through the Small Business Center and in my classes, but still, some folks want to move faster or want that personal help. And they folks that are out here running with their own business that basically do business plans for other people, very good job, very good thing to do. And If you're in that business, you can always rely on folks like me and the small business centers to give you good ideas so that you can help your clients do that. Been so happy through the years to see so many folks who enjoy cooking outside as I do get into the catering business and such as that. Probably have as many as 10 contractors out there now that have come through my classes that are very successful in their businesses, started catering, started grilling, started doing things, and now have their own businesses going on. We've got several people, I think, even on board with us tonight that may have done some of that. But I'm going to use an example of some folks over in Clinton that done such a good job, got started, retired from the transportation field. I love to cook outside, and that's Sylvester and Janice Wilson in Clinton. Two really great folks. Both of them take their business very seriously, great people, Christians, and do a good job cooking, and started their business now about 7 years ago. And they are the great takeout kings in Clinton, North Carolina. And they call their business T&T Grill on Wheels. And basically every weekend you can find him set up at one spot or another around Sampson County or at a special event during the warm weather months. And oftentimes through the cool weather months, they'll set up on Wednesday or Thursday and offer takeout meals all day long and do a great business with people just coming to their location with takeout with just good full-fledged meals that do it. They got a great menu. Advertise on Facebook, advertise a little bit locally, but mainly through Facebook is how to get the message out there. And they'll cook up on Tuesday and Wednesday and sell it all on Thursday. So you can do this. Every town is looking for more and more folks that can do this good cooking. It's amazing how well the food truck business is taken off, but this is more than food truck. This is a family, local-owned family business that's offering a great service. And during COVID, when takeout and pickup were so important to everyone, it just underscored the value of these type businesses and how sustainable they'll be. The great news is, once you sell out, you clean up, close down, and you rest. If you want to go down to the beach for the weekend, you can do it, but you're your own boss. But now, how do you get into this for $100? Well, basically, you have to start cooking in your own kitchen, start serving your own meals, but it can move real quickly into you having a grill for outside or even a food wagon or food truck. So cooking is a good way to get started because you can start in your own kitchen. Rachel down in Wilmington did this about 10 years ago. She started in her own kitchen making raw salsa. She would make her salsas in her home kitchen and then carry them out to different pop-up locations or markets around Wilmington and establish a great customer clientele. People come to her every week and buy her products. She grew her business into getting a commercial kitchen, establishing that so she can make more volume now. And now she's got a good, substantial, sustainable business. Been doing it for a number of years and a great product. So if you're down in the Wilmington, Hampstead area, you will have seen raw salsa around in the different food marts, and Rachel does a great job doing special events as well. She's helped me with several special events. A good example of what you can do with a small amount of money, Mary and Lynn in Hampstead decided they wanted to start a second career after retirement and started making craft cakes, developed their own market, put it together, started small, cooking right in their own kitchen, and before you knew it, they had enough business to start to go to a commercial kitchen and get a business started. Just amazing. I was very honored and pleased to help them through the Cape Fear Small Business Center and get some marketing up for them and watch them grow their business. So I want to tell you that I know it can be done. If you have a specialty recipe that you can put your name or label on, again, you getting started for a low amount of money and Facebook advertising and some good friends, you can get your business started as well. A lot of you have something that I do not have, which are the computer skills. It is amazing, amazing the value of anyone that's a virtual, someone that understands computers well and networking and teaching folks basic computer skills. There's money out there to be made for you. And if you decide to do this and you let me know, I'll be glad to help promote you amongst all the people that I can, just like all the folks that are on board tonight. I'll share with you something that my webmaster told me the other day. He said, Steve, I called him up and told him we need to enlarge the print at our website because it's getting harder and harder to read all this small print that he was using. He said, what's your trouble? I said, well, it's probably something to do when I'm 76 years old and can't see as good. But he said, I really think it's your fault because you're putting too small a text on our website. He said, well, it's probably some of each, and I agree with you that we have to work at it. And then he said to me, he said, Steve, you do know that you can press that control button, hold it down, and then hit the plus button on your keyboard as you're holding it down, and the screen will enlarge. It'll just keep getting bigger and bigger, hitting that plus button. And if you want to make it smaller, hit that minus button over there. I said, you're kidding me. And as he was talking, I did it, and I was just amazed because no one had ever told me that. I'd never been in a formal class to learn that lesson. And I've been sitting here squinting for years, and all I would have had to do was hit those two buttons, and the print would have got nice and big for me. Well, if you hadn't heard that before, try it. It is amazing and will really help you reading small print on your screen. Hold the control button down and then just tap the plus button and just watch it enlarge on your screen for you. That's the kind of things that folks need to know that don't know, just like me. And if you're have had good training in word processing and the word software on computers and how to do these little things to teach entrepreneurs who have never had a chance to learn it before, there's a great value there for you. So give that some thought and try. If you had never tried that little trick before, give it a shot. You'll like it. Consulting. Let me tell you that so many manufacturers and large retailers now want to have people to go out to other folks' homes and sell their products for them, but they don't want to have full-time employees sitting around the store, so they hire contractors to represent them in the field. So when someone sends in an email or an inquiry about getting some blinds or flooring or decor or swimming pools or curtains or different types of grasses or just a whole world of appliances, lighting, all these different things now, there are jobs available as contractors for folks like you and me. So that the office would send you the leads and you would contact the customers, go out, measure them up, make the sale, get an order, and earn a nice commission for it. Very, very good. If you're good at sales and a people person and like to ride, don't mind getting out and knocking on doors, I want to tell you there are a lot of opportunities selling blinds, windows, decors, flooring, all the things I just mentioned, and more that you might want to consider doing. I know some folks that have done this really, really well for a lot of years. I met my first contractor doing this, selling what this fellow's showing right here, the plantation type blinds. I had him come and do them for a rental house that I had a number of years ago. I was so pleased with what he did. We invited him to come to our personal home here in Dunn. And then again to several beach houses that he's taken care of. So just one customer with Raving Fan Customers making referrals can mean a lot of good sales for you. So do you have a knack for this? Especially some of the ladies in decor work with painting and flooring and wallpapering and blinds and furniture. It can be a really good business opportunity for you. Excuse me. Still nursing that throat. We're coming along though. Okay, now this year we have been blessed with a lot of folks that have been on board promoting their different hobbies and crafts, and maybe one of the ones that have turned into the most money have been those that are beekeepers and keeping bees and selling the honey products. There is a huge market for it. And after COVID has come along, even more of a market because doctors and everyone is telling you that if you can get a honey that's made in your local region, it will have more medicinal value for you because it will help you fight the local viruses that are running around in your particular area. So more and more folks are doing this. It's a fun hobby. There are some risks involved. It doesn't cost a lot of money to get it started. However, if you get in it big, you're going to have to make some investments, and you'll have to keep your bees healthy during the wintertime, and a lot to learn there. But the return on investment can be quite good, and I understand that we've got a lot of people in the Dublin County area on board with us tonight. And in your region, there is a Beekeepers Association, as there is in the state. So if you have an interest in following up on beekeeping and selling honey, you got some organizations and folks that will show you how to do it and help you get started in it. Really good, income provider. Maybe you love to make wreaths and decorations, and our friend Janice Myers, who's one of the Academy members of Academy of Friends and Associates, is one of the very best at it that I know over in Kinston. Janice works several jobs, but several years ago she started promoting her Per D wreaths business online. She does a huge business now making wreaths for doors and table settings and different decor. It is a great craft to get into. You can get into it with a fairly small amount of investment, but you're going to have some inventory and some vision and give it some time to do it. But Janice will be a good person to follow her lead, showing you how to do it as well as how to market these products. So I know it can be done. I bought some of these products from Janice. Very rewarding type work to do. So might be something you might want to think about. If you're into knitting and sewing, our good friend Juan in Price up in Roanoke Rapids started about 15 years ago knitting what she calls chemo cultures. In other words, folks that are taking chemo at the cancer centers, making caps and scarves for them. Really beautiful stuff, and she makes them. And she was starting out making very low amount of money. She was not selling many of them, but she didn't have much of a price tag on them. And I encouraged her to up the ante a little bit and start offering these as gifts. People started giving them as gifts, and business. I think she can sell all that she makes and more. So different types of things are very unique in the way that you market them. There is definitely a market there for chemo affected folks because there's so many of us. My wife is a cancer survivor that went through chemo. I'm a cancer survivor as well, but I didn't have to do that. But I have seen these gifts and different products that are related for cancer patients do really well, and it's a very rewarding thing to do if you go that way. Someone have a question they needed to ask? Okay, we'll keep going. Nadine Johnson over in Mebane, she also is in the knitting business, and she has done a really good job marketing her toboggans and scarves and other things. She'll make them to order. She'll put your name on them if you want them, or your messages, either personally or for business. I know this is good business to be in because she's done it for a number of years and does quite well with it. So maybe you or know someone that does this or not. The key here is maybe you have a loved one or members of your family that are doing this, but they can't figure out how to sell it. So maybe you'll take their skills, group them together, and you do the marketing, and y'all share in the profits to put your business together. It works. There's a lot of folks doing it. The dog walkers. These folks in the cities usually do a good job within their neighborhoods or subdivisions. Just have a contract with folks to come by and pick up their dogs and take them for a walk once or twice a day. In the pet industry in general, folks are finding more and more ways to spend money. Therefore, there's more and more ways for us to make money serving those folks as we do it. So it's a very good opportunity to do it, something that you might want to think about. Event and party planners are very becoming more popular in certain areas. Maybe you've got the knack for that, and it's a good thing to do. Last year, we had one of our entrepreneur associates in our classes start her own, Harrington Jones event planners over in Rockingham. Sheila did this, doing really well with it. She is a real estate broker, so she meets a lot of new people and has a chance to be out in the community. So she started this events business where she's hosting parties and renting tables and got the decor, and each profit center that you can add helps you make more money in that you're doing. So fairly inexpensive to get started, because these type of things that you can rent and you don't have to buy them, but they're available to you to help you build your business and go forward. Folks running errands are making money doing it. Basically, they offer themselves as an errand service, serving senior citizens, serving local businesses. Folks that don't have as many employees as they used to need folks to do their errand chores for them. There's a business there for you. It might be something that suits you just good. Virtually no investment required to get started. Garage cleaning and sales and organizations, there's always a need. And right here in Dunn, we have some folks that I think that are doing it quite well. I know that we've had several folks in Pinehurst and in Raleigh through the years take these businesses off, and as far as I know, they're doing very well with it. Garage cleaning, managing garage sales. I know need someone to come over this way and help us have a garage sale pretty soon. Candles, lotions, beauty products. You can get the ingredients right online or from specialty shops. You can make the products in your own home, set it up. You can market them on the internet, market them at different stores or gift shops, and go for it. When I first started in the counseling business maybe 15 years ago, this young lady and her mother down in the Whiteville area wanted to start making candles. They did it. Their business has grown right now into the Cottage Candle Company. They sell lots and lots of candles online, and more importantly, they're selling lots and lots of candles under other people's labels. They make them and label them, and they've got a good wholesale business going on. That's kind of the key to taking a craft and to grow it into a large business. You need to take the craft, grow it into a large business by figuring a way to have a large volume so that you can make some big ticket sales, as we talked about earlier. Over in Raleigh, Dawn Mitchell, who is also a cancer survivor, started her own beauty products online where she makes lotions and such as that. But the main thing with Dawn is if you go to her website, Pretty Till Dawn Beauty Products, you'll see her business is about her personality and working with cancer survivors with certain lotions and things that to help days be shorter. So I congratulate her. She's a good example of someone that makes those products. When you move into lotions, smell goods, candles, creams, a huge variety. Jessica Basher in Clinton started out right in her kitchen with all of her children running around maybe 10 years ago. And now let me tell you, she's grown her little business into a full-fledged bricks and mortar store with home fragrances right in Clinton, North Carolina, in downtown. Has done a really good job on the internet. So she is one of the Clinton's leading business people. So proud of her. Got her own mixing room and manufacturing area right there at the store. If you have a chance to go to Clinton, right downtown across the street from the courthouse. You'll see Soaps by Jess. This is a good example of one person working out of their kitchen, growing their business into a major operation. So proud of her, and I know she can do it as well. This is inside of her store, showing different examples of what she's doing. And then, of course, one thing leads to another. So she's got her T-shirts and her specialty garments that she sells as well. That is, and by the way, I've got this, and by the way, I've got this too. And look over here, we can also do this. When you have a lot of profit centers, then you're able to sell a few customers more and more stuff and do what I like to call stack your profits. That's her new logo is Remedy by Jess. Local tour consultants are very, very popular in areas where there's historic things. Newbern, Bath, Edenton, Wilmington, Goldsboro, Raleigh, Rocky Mount, Wilson. Every town has local historic things that are very interesting to people that are coming through town. And if you offer yourself as a local tour consultant, indeed, you can use your vehicle, your van, get you a little script, list the different places you can go, and someone that's in town for the weekend or wants to spend the afternoon riding around, there's people that want to do that, and it's a good little business to be in. Folks that are coming to town just to check it out to see if maybe they want to move there, or have an afternoon to kill and want to see the local attractions. Think about doing that. If this is your kind of niche, you're a good storyteller, like to chit chat and meet new people, this could be a really good business for you. Good example is Valerie Smith in Wilmington. She started her own business. Now, indeed, it cost her a lot more than $100 to get started, but indeed, she got started with it as well with the idea and moved it up forward, got the business up and running, ready to go forward, then decided to purchase her a van that she could use in her business. So indeed, she's using her own vehicle. I don't know, there was another $100 to spend there other than maybe some special insurance, but she's got her own tour service, but more importantly, she's offering a transportation service for people that are in wheelchairs and doing very well with it. So if that's something that might interest you, Valerie would be glad to talk to you about it, and I can send you some information about it as well. Here's the one you hadn't thought about is monuments and tombstones and cleaning gravesite restoration is what we'll call it. More and more folks, more and more websites are offering the service of going to graveyards and cleaning tombstones and grave sites for people. Folks that have their loved ones out of town or a long way away, interested in keeping those grave sites up, this is a good option for them to make sure that their loved ones' graves are in good shape. And basically all you need is a little bit of basic elbow grease, and this you can turn a plaque that looks like this into a plaque that looks like this in just a few minutes and time. And man, people really appreciate you doing it and are willing to pay for it. So if that is something that might interest you, working outside, traveling around, learning new folks, maybe you're interested in genealogy, there's a lot of things to do that you can do, and also provide a great service for families all over the country. With you showing the before and after and send them a bill. And we already got your credit card before you get started, but when you charge the credit card, you send them a picture of before and after what all you've done, and but they make sure they've got a good value. Here are some examples of before and after pictures. These are worth $150 to $300, depending on how much yard work that you had to do. Just cleaning the tombstones is one thing, but if you're in one of these private cemeteries where you're also doing the yard work, cleaning up the weeding and roundup or working on the fence, the bill could go to $400, $500, $600 a year, and people are very pleased to do that. The dog grooming business, start out small, start out in your own house, in your own basement, one at a time, and see where it grows to. It's a huge industry now. So if you love pets, this is something you might want to consider doing. I like to always congratulate a man named Kyle Baker over in Pink Hill and Beulahville. They started out at home and now have grown their businesses into 2 stores. They're extra in word what they're doing, and so happy for them. They came to our seminars in Kenansville for a number of years and just watched our business grow and grow and grow. And just really good people. Recommend you checking them out. Their business is called Posh for Paws, and they started out cleaning, and then they took our advice, started adding on more and more products so they can say, and by the way, we've got this and we've got this and we've got that. And every time you can do that, you see your profits grow, and actually your customers are so much happier as well. Picture framing is a serious business for folks to do. Everyone has a love of picture frame, but just a few people do it. And when you see frame shops uptown, they're always busy. Usually pretty expensive to do business with them. So is it costly to get into that business? Not at all. You can order your materials online from suppliers, as much or as little as you want. You can do different types of framing. Like this is a good example for different veterans and their awards. Everyone's got something they'd like to have framed, and if you let them know you're doing it, you can. The basic tools you need is a good saw and a framing structure tool. You can buy these used and sales, yard sales even, online fairly inexpensively. Indeed, get into it for less than $100 and get started. I did woodworking for a while. Didn't ever do it to make money, but I can certainly see the potential there. There's certain types of picture framing tools like one I've got shown here, which actually take a lot of the work and guesswork out of it to help you do a good quality job. This year we had one of our classmates start his business down in Bayboro, North Carolina, doing framing and furniture work, and does a really good job with it. Restoring furniture doesn't cost hardly anything to get into it. You just need some space and know-how and get it started. Let people know that you want to do it. Sewing, alternator, and seamstress, huge demand. I'm seeing more and more people go in this direction. More and more stores are wanting to move that business to contractors. So if you do know how to sew or you want to learn, there's places that you can actually go to sew school. There's one in Clinton that'll teach you how to sew, or there was. I think it's opened back up now after COVID. There's a good demand there. We've got one of our folks that are attending our classes now, Tisha, over in Magnolia, that's a good seamstress and making certain fashion work for folks. Take it and go with it. Give it a chance if you think you've got the skills or some way to do it. Someone that's made it work for a number of years is Clara down in Elizabethtown. She came to our seminars maybe 10 years ago. She's still working at it today. She's making a face mask now. COVID came along and she jumped right into it and started making masks and done a right good business with that. I put her up a new sign that looks really good, and I noticed as I was going by her store in Elizabethtown last or 2 weeks ago, she's put up some even new signs, so hopefully her business is going really well. DIY Sewing in Clinton was who I was mentioning, that Angela and Karen will actually teach folks how to do sewing. I think they're still open up. I know they had it going wide open, but COVID came along and maybe made them quit, but maybe they're back open now. But these are great folks. Contact them individually if you want some information on learning how to sew. They did fashions and did a good job with it. Are you a translator? You know several languages? There's people right now ready to hire you. So consider that way to go. Where would you find work for a translator? I can tell you that the public school systems and the community colleges and certain businesses, a lot of state and county governments are hiring translators just to help people better communicate. I was at DMV the other day with some license and noticed they had some translator in there. So if you've got skills in translating, it would be an excellent opportunity to maybe turn it into a new job or a new business for you. Virtual assistants, as I've mentioned so many times already, people need virtual assistants. I don't need a full-time help in doing this, but I do need, and do it right now, have 4 different virtual assistants that help me with different areas of my business. It works out very good for all of us. We all work from our home offices, communicate, work it out, and it's a good thing to do. If this is something you'd like to pursue and you already have the skill sets ready to start selling them, then get with it, get serious, get you a business plan and move on it. And depending on what you have to offer, let me know, and I'll try to help people find you. Virtual assistants is maybe one of the best ways that you can go forward. You may already have 1 or 2 jobs, but maybe you want to move into something altogether different that you can do at home and at your own time on a contract basis. Make you good steady money. This is a good thing to consider doing. Sarita Sampson in Clinton is a member of our academy, attends on a regular basis. She's traveling tonight, headed over to Kentucky. She called me earlier, said she might drop in with us. I don't see her on board now, but Sarita has started her business 3 years ago and now doing lots and lots of different things for folks and making some good money. So congratulations, Sarita. One that came up just a few weeks ago, a fellow was telling me that folks that are doing wheel cleaning are knocking it out, making good work. They go on weekends or go to special events, and basically what they offer is cleaning these wheels on these pretty trucks and cars to make things happen. Excuse me. Well, my throat's catching up with me. I apologize. I'll talk a little slower, maybe it'll be easier. But I saw some people at the parking lot in Walmart a few months ago. Someone would pull up, this young man would walk up to them and offer to clean their wheels for them. People paying $30 to $50 to $100, depending on how big the vehicle is or what it is. This is a golden opportunity for some young folks that I want to work on weekends and pick up some good walk around money, pocket change. Probably earn as much depending on where you are. If you're at a concert or a special event where you got some big campers or some of these big trucks out there, you could probably pick up from $500 to $1,000 per afternoon. Just working at local shopping centers and such as that, probably not that much, but at least $500 or more for a good day's work, and not very, very little investment. So something to think about here. I don't have any personal experience doing it other than I'm observing and talking to some people, but I think it could be really unique. So you do these things to improve your skills and move forward with what you want to do. Maybe you're already into yoga. Angie over in Rocky Mountain and Roanoke Rapids builds a business around her yoga classes. Betty does things with food preparations. Lee in Wilmington takes her yoga classes online, does a good job with it. Very little investment. Lee's got a great logo and a great business started and a studio right in her own home that she works with online with customers. Joy in Clinton does her pound cakes, does a good job right out of her kitchen, got a good job doing it. Detoya, and I think in Henderson area, is an online teacher. She teaches early childhood kids, works as a teacher at home, does a really good job, something you might have an interest in. Over at Seven Springs, North Carolina, the gentleman that work hard makes his own art. Y'all may have seen these out on the highway, sells figures. She gets them out with a chainsaw and carries them to art events and sells the figurines. The word of caution, it always comes into play that someone says, I'm thinking I'm going to get into direct sales, multi-level marketing, and indeed hundreds and thousands of people are doing it. Maybe all of us at one time or another have. I have tried it. I want to tell you, be careful with multi-level marketing. You will use up a lot of time, go through a lot of friends, and make a little bit of money usually. Maybe just enough to say it's worth your while. If you're good at it and you feel good doing it, then keep on doing it. But I'll tell you the secret. The people that make big bucks in multi-level marketing are the folks that are doing 2 or 3 or 5 things at the same time. In other words, they've got a little army of people that are doing 5 different types of multi-level marketing sales, and therefore lots and lots of different multipliers come into play, and they can end up with some very significant checks every month. But just be careful that you don't alienate yourself or your friends or have doors closed for you, because a lot of people just do not want anything to do with it. And so you just have to pick and choose your customers carefully. Again, I would recommend it as a good business for someone to get into if you're going to do it full time and have 5 or 6 different types of multi-level marketing that you're working with, so you can have a huge group of people that are working under you, therefore feeding you a percentage of their sales. Okay, that's it for the different types of businesses. Any questions anyone would like to ask before we move into the customer service area? Okay, John, I see you got something to ask. How about it?
Thanks, Stephen. What I was going to say is you mentioned earlier there's a difference between marketing and advertising.
Yes.
Could you go into that a little bit, what the difference is?
I'll be glad to, and thank you for the question. It's a good question. The 2 words, marketing and advertising, we usually just throw them in and out of the sentence. Wouldn't make any difference which one we used. But when you're running your own business, there is a difference that I want you to focus on, so that you'll have a sense of which one is important to you at a certain time. Marketing, in my opinion, and the way I teach it, marketing is the big picture that we look at for the year round, for the long term. It's what we're doing every day, every month, every year, and a structured plan that we have in place called our marketing plan that's assuring us that we've got our little messages going out all the time, so that customers in our region or our niche groups are constantly aware that we're here and alive, because we're always kind of pinging them, you might say, putting that fresh bait out there for them. That's a marketing plan that assures that you're stabilized in the marketplace as a player and that you're here to stay, so that when someone sees your message, they recognize that it's someone that's been here for a while. It's kind of like when Allstate sends out their messages. You know, you're in good hands with Allstate, and you hear that message over and over and over again. And different companies have their slogans and logos, so that we recognize them as just kind of a member of the community. Advertising, on the other hand, is the piece of the marketing pie where we focus on certain products at certain times a year, and have a definite goal in mind. So I would have a marketing plan for all of my equipment, where that I'm promoting my website and this and that. But now springtime is here, and I'm going to do advertising on mowing equipment, because mowing season is here. And those advertising campaigns that I have would just focus on certain products for a certain period of time. So to answer your question, the short term is marketing is the big picture, the long term. Advertising is a piece of the marketing pie that focuses on target markets and certain products. And in our seminars, we dive into that real deep.
Thank you so much.
All right, I hope that helps. Any other questions about that? Well, let's have some fun now and talk about Raving Fan Customers and how to keep them on board, what it's all about. The Raving Fan Customers is the fun part of doing business, because it's so good to have a customer call you up on the phone, says, Steve, I enjoy doing business with you so much. I sent my neighbor to come and see you, and we're going to do it some more, and I want to get this and that from you as well. That's repeat business coming from a Raving Fan customer, and it's very, very important to keep that going on. Raving Fan Customers will always let you know that you can't be all things to all people, but you can be everything to some people, and those some people will become your Raving Fan Customers. RFC, Raving Fan Customers. They must trust you. They really don't care how much you know, because they do know how much you care. Raving Fan Customers do not care how much you know, because what counts is how much you care, and these people know it, that you're here to serve them and you care about them. They will shop often with you. They will give you lots and lots of repeat business. Raving Fan Customers can stabilize your cash flow. When times are tough, those are the customers that's going to keep you in business with maybe not a lot of business, but continuous business to help you keep the bills paid. They don't demand as much. They don't demand the discounts that other people do, because they want you to stay in business. That's why we want those Raving Fan Customers. Another thing they'll do for you is they will give you constructive advice if you ask for it. They care. They want to help you. And they will have more patience with you when you screw up. And we all screw up from time to time. We all can make a mistake. A Raving Fan regular customer understands that, because they screw up sometimes too, and we understand it when they do it. But mainly they care about you as an individual. They know that businesses like ours, small businesses, are made by one-on-one folks with families, with issues, catch COVID and get sick, but still come to work. They know that running a small business requires an individual, and sometimes we're going to have problems, and they are usually willing to help you with it. That's why the Raving Fan Customer is so important to me, and will be to you as well. They go out and tell their friends and family about how good you are to do business with, and encourage them to come and do business with you too. You cannot buy that type of marketing nor advertising. You can earn it, but you can't buy it. You earn the respect and action of your Raving Fan customers. They'll give you thousands of precious, free, positive, effective and effective advertising and marketing exposure, because they're out there every day for the long term, and they're out there when you're trying to push your special projects at certain times a year. So the question is, Tisha, Carla, Amy, where are your Raving Fan customers hiding? What are they doing? Do you see them? You're doing everything right, David. You're looking after your customers, you care about them, but you don't see your Raving Fan customers getting out there trying to help you promote your business. Well, what's going on with that? What am I talking about? Because you're not seeing them. Well, there's a surprise coming here for you, because the way you get Raving Fan customers to become them is you got to plant Raving Fan customer brain seeds. Take back now. Let that soak in. We're going to get very graphic. Brain seeds. Raving Fan customers. We got to do 3 things to have a Raving Fan customer. You with me? You smiling? Got to do 3 things. You got to have brain seeds. 3 things. 1, 2, 3. Number 1, you got to plant them. You got to plant Raving Fan customer brain seeds. Now, how do you do that? Well, you also got to cultivate them. How do you cultivate Raving Fan customer brain seeds? Number 3, how do you nurture those brain seeds to get a harvest from them? Well, you can't buy this anywhere else, but I'm going to teach it to you this afternoon. No extra charge, worth $1 million to you, no extra charge. 1, plant those seeds. Excuse the graphics here. It's just like you cut a hole in someone's head, take a shovel, dig down good and deep, and then get a place that you can plant those seeds, number 1. And you do that planting the seeds, you just let them down like they're little Rice Krispies and shake them right down into the brain so they'll have a chance to grow. Well, how do you do that? Well, instead of cutting a hole in their head, basically all you have to do is make a pledge. Make a pledge to your customer. That pledge being, I am going to do everything I can to see that you're 100% satisfied with our products and services. Words matter. Words are important. I'm going to do everything I can to see that you're 100% satisfied with our products and services. That's the way you plant the seeds. Number two, how do you cultivate them? You say something else, you make another pledge. You're going to be so pleased that you did business with us that you'll want to tell your friends and family they should shop here as well. First, I'm going to do everything I can to see you're 100% satisfied, and you're going to be so pleased you shopped here that you'll want to tell your friends and families to come as well. And number three, after the sale, you have to follow up to make sure they know you're working towards their 100% satisfaction. And then you can experience the magic marketing moment when you learn what's next. And that is to say that if you plant those Raving Fan customer brain seeds, they will go out and tell other people they ought to shop with you too, provided you follow up and make sure they know that you're trying to make sure they're 100% happy. The bonus here is, and where the harvest comes in for the Raving Fan customer, is the magic marketing moment. Because at that magic marketing moment, that's when you get to ask the customer for some tips on what they plan to purchase next or when, or do they know someone that's interested in buying something and share that information with you. The magic marketing moment is the bonus for the whole Mother Goose marketing campaign and Raving Fan customers. If you take these step by steps and learn how to use them and practice them, then you're going to see your business really do really great. So the Raving Fan customers will become activated and energized. They will send customers to you, and they will keep coming back. But you got to make them feel important. You got to energize them. You got to make them feel your appreciation every time you have the opportunity. You can't just be sitting around with a frown on your face. You got to let your customers know that you love them. You got to show them some love and be personal with them. Being a small business entrepreneur is all about being a people person and inviting people to come back to see you time after time after time. You want a structured plan to keep them in touch with you. That's where we get back to what I mentioned earlier. You got to get those email addresses. You got to get those cell phone numbers, and you got to put them in a database so you can use them very easily to stay in touch with them. Now, over the course of our in our entrepreneurial series, Academy series, we teach you how to do all this step by step. Now, once you get some customers, one or two, or as they come on board, on a regular basis, stay in touch with them and make them feel important. Invite them from lunch from time to time. Send a great meal certificate to them. If these are people that are going to help you keep your business running for years, then you got to send them some touch them with love. Let them know that you really care about them. Reach out and let them know that you care about their families as well. In other words, we're all in it together, and we have to show it to make it work. Send greeting cards, regular reminders on special occasions to your regular Raving Fan customers so that they know that you care. Sometimes I'll send snack packs and goodies. I'll use, from time to time, I'll use Rachel's Raw materials. I'll use some of these pound cake snacks that we can get. I've sent crab cakes to customers before. Use your networking to let folks know that you care about them and you want them to appreciate you. We've got several members of the academies that do different types of popcorn and candies and different things that they'll send out to your customer list for you to show appreciation at holidays. We have some members of our academy that grow custom pecans and candies that work out really well for this type purpose. But the main thing to activate and energize your Raving Fan customer is to just be quiet. Hush and listen to your customers. Listen to what they're telling you, how you can improve, what they're going to be buying next. The best customer experience is when they feel like they're communicating well with a business person that cares about them and trying to help them. You want that customer experience to end up being as positive as you can get it. And the most positive thing that you can do isn't sending gifts or bragging on them or going out to dinner with them. The most positive thing you can do is just listen and then make notes of what they're saying and then put it into play. It's no brainer. We don't have but one chance to make a first impression. As business people, we have to remember that because we want them to keep coming back. We want to always jump up and welcome the chance to say hello to a new customer. Don't be lazy about it. Get that hand out there, that fist bump out there, and let them know how important it is and how happy you are that they are emailing you or calling you or walking in the store. Just don't let it be a lazy day. Let it be a very special time. Walt Disney teaches us best of all that we always want to make sure every customer knows they're welcome. And there's not just to kind of feel it, but to know it, to know that they're welcome. So when you're walking into a store, and you know how this feels, if someone avoids making eye contact with you or ignores you as you pass by, man, that gives you a bad feeling, right? And it happens so often, so many times in all types of stores. Employees or owners just ignore you like, well, you walk around, if you want something, come and grab me and I'll help you. I'm going to do you a favor by serving you. That is a negative impression. Do what it takes to make sure that's not what you're doing there. Walt Disney comes up with the right way to do it. You want to know that people are recognizing you, and he came up with the rule that he calls, and he's the master of it, because if you go to Disney World, you know that you're going to get good customer service. The Disney 5-10 rule says, if you come within 10 feet of a customer, you should greet them with a smile and eye contact. Well, in other words, make that connection with eye contact and let them know that you see them and you got a smile for them. That's within 10 feet. And when you get within 5 feet of a customer, you should offer a verbal welcome message. Good morning, how you doing? Welcome, how can I help you? Now, you know what I'm saying? How many times have you been into a place and people just ignored you? And how important it would be if someone was using the 5 and 10 foot rule to help you feel welcome in the store. At Disney World, employees are taught this, and if they don't enforce it, they're fired. And this Disney rule now is being applied at many, many major marketing and retail companies all over the world. So why not we do it as well? I try to do it in my business. I want to encourage you to do it as well. It doesn't take but 2 seconds to make a good first impression, and Disney's rule really makes that come home. So what are the most important questions for you? Are you and the other people in your business interested in the best interest of the business? In other words, are the employees caring about the business? Well, most of you guys, from what I can see here, are one man or women operations. I know that you care about the best interest, so I'm not going to beat that all to death. But are you devoted to keeping customers? You know, you can be be in business and own your own business, but that doesn't mean that you're working hard every day to keep and maintain devoted customers. It's that little extra stuff that we do to make that happen. Do you know why customers never come back? Do you know why they buy or not? Do you know why they get angry? Do you know what customers really want? Do you know how to strengthen your customer loyalty? These are things that we have to ask ourselves all the time. I lose customers from time to time, and it bothers me. I wonder why they're not coming back. Did I say something wrong? Did I not pay them enough attention? Did someone else do something better? Or maybe they just got tired of what they were doing. But we have to ask our question, what is making this happen? And don't be ashamed or don't hold back in asking customers to questions that help you know these answers. The sheer fact that you ask a question that gets right down to the nitty gritty is a really good way to let the customer know that you care about them. So don't feel like that this is not something I should do as a business owner. It is everything you should do as a business owner to rectify a situation that's maybe a little negative, because once you can cross that bridge with a customer, they are more likely to stay with you forever and send other people to you as well. But some of the reasons people leave is they just die. 1% move away, or 3% move away. 5% get other relationships, and that's what happened. Maybe some competitive reasons come along, or maybe they're just dissatisfied with your products or service. But here's the deal. 68% of people leave a business because they feel like they had rude or discourteous service. 68%. Now that's what gives us the advantage, my entrepreneur friends, and that we're operating our businesses ourselves, most of us, and we've got this personal contact with our customers ourselves. We can beat the odds because we can make sure that our customers do not have rude or discourteous service, and that's what's going to give you the edge as a small business owner. You got more control of this than a big box store. You got more control of this than a .com company. Remember, this is your secret weapon, your ability to give good service and be friendly. Doesn't cost you a penny, but it can give you the edge that the large companies just can't manage. So you keep your customer service when you give customer service with a capital S, a capital service. So make that one of your logos. Make that a part of your vision and marketing campaign. How do you do that? You got to be dramatically different. Now, some of you told me from time to time, I had never seen anybody do that before. No one's ever said that to me before. Wow, you gone crazy, Steve. That was silly. What I'm trying to do is emphasize, if it's not dramatically different, then people don't notice it. And if you're trying to get someone to notice you in a good way, you got to go kind of over the edge a little bit to make sure that they say, hey, he's really trying, or hey, she's really doing a good job. It's making a dramatic difference. And we're fortunate tonight to have Vanessa McIntosh with us. Hi, Vanessa. Good to have you with us from Birdsville. She's been participating with the Academy now for many weeks. And she said the other night online that she had been doing pretty much everything the best she could, but when she made the dramatic difference of making a video and putting it out there with her own voice and person on it and showing her products, that one dramatical difference in what she had not been doing in the past made a major difference in the number of sales inquiries that she has gotten ever since. So videos is a great way to do this. Posting a mission, vision, and promise statement is a dramatic difference when you're telling your customers, I believe in my business. I believe in it because I want it to do this, this, and this. And making that statement of commitment for your customers, that's dramatic. Changing your web pages around, using lots of different colors or photographs or images, doing something different, that's dramatic different. Starting to send out regular communications to your customers, that's dramatic difference. Just saying I'm going to do better, that's not dramatic. That's ho-hum. So you got to start being different in good ways to see a significant difference in your business. Remember, we can't push our customers. We can encourage them. We can motivate them. We can do all that you can do, but we have to be careful not to push. We can lead, but not push. What we want to do is to help them buy and use the word help more often than you ought to. Just help people do things in a good way. They will come to it because people love to buy. They just hate to be pressured. So you got to figure out how to make that happen for us. Oftentimes say and remind them that I'm here to serve you. Tell me, ask your questions. Let me answer those questions, and if I don't know the answer, I'll find them out. But my purpose here is to serve you. I can tell you, each and every one of y'all, Edna, John, Lucy, Tisha, Carla, if you weren't here, I wouldn't be here. Y'all are the most important people in the room. And oftentimes when I'm talking to my customers, Sonia, I'll tell them, look, I am so glad you're here, because if you weren't here, I wouldn't be here. Keep reminding those customers that that's the mindset you have, and you know what will happen? They will know that you care about them and you appreciate them, and then they are more likely to become a Raving Fan customer, which is our major goal here. You've got to charge from me to try to get your profit centers, a lot of them, so that you're always able to say, and by the way, thank you for buying this. I appreciate it so much. I hope you enjoy it. And by the way, we've also got this that goes right along with it. The more additional items that you can bring into your business and say, and by the way, makes your business more complete and your service more complete to your customers. And by the way, that is the best way for you to make money. I'm going to do all I can to see you're 100% satisfied. I have that sentence in every quotation I send out. I have it all over my website, continuously reminding customers that our goal is for them to be 100% satisfied. It's a subtle message, but it's one that customers really appreciate, and I'm encouraging you to copy what I'm doing because it'll work for you as well. If you've got a little problem that exists, go ahead and fix it. Big problems start out as little problems. And if you're on top of the game, you're always looking for these little things that maybe you could erase or change that don't keep magnified into something big. That is a real key for you as a risk management person, is to look out for maybe a customer gives you a little complaint or maybe a side comment that you hadn't heard before, but it's indicating that something happened that didn't quite agree with them. You want to make a note of that and follow up on it, because those serious crises can all be taken away if you nip the little ones right in the bud to begin with. Simple details, remembering people's names as best you can. And that's a hard job to do. Now, let me tell you, I have learned how hard it is. So that's why I appreciate you folks that come back on a regular basis. I see Amanda's joined us down here tonight, and I feel like I'm talking to friends and neighbors, because we know each other. I know what type of business you're doing. I try to remember your names, where you're from, and such as that. And that's important to you. It's important to me. But make sure that in your record keeping, you're keeping records that you'll be able to recognize that repeat business customer when they come back to you, so you can say, oh man, I'm so glad you've come back to see us. I missed you, and it's good to hear from you. Those are words that people want to hear. Now, how many people that you do business with, either on the internet or in the real world of business, make an effort to remember your name or where you're at? It's very few in today's world. And those of us that do it, we're going to get the benefit of it. It will make a big difference if you can do that. In our mind, we have to have a track, a path of how we're going to close this sale with the different things we're going to do. Step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4. When we have a chance to talk to a customer on the phone or in person, before we get into that situation of closing the sale, we need to already have a path. Now, let's say that you like to go to a certain place way down in the forest. Maybe you got a fishing hole or a swimming hole or a place you just like to go to be quiet. And all through those briars and bushes and hills and valleys and across mud banks and things like that, you've created a little path so that you know how to get there, make a turn here and a turn there, step over a rock here. You've got a path to get there. It's the same way with closing a sale. If you've got in your mind, I don't always mention this, and this, and then ask the question, I need this information to move forward. Whatever the business is you're in, go ahead and on a piece of paper, make a script of the step 1 through the end that you need to follow to close the deal. Now, in every professional sales training that I've done, that I've been involved in where people were teaching me or vice versa, this always comes up, because when you're first getting started, as maybe some of you are, as a beginner, you want to get from beginner, novice, to professional as fast as you can. And this is one of the very most important ways to do it. Get a path started, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, right up the line. Now, I'll say this to you to show my commitment to you. Whatever the business is that you're getting ready to do, whatever you're thinking about selling, if you don't have an idea about how to write down a structured path to get to a successful close, then send me an email and tell me what you're selling, and I'll be glad to give it some thought and drop you a line back. No charge, just I want to see you successful. And this path to success will go a long, long way for you. I've written some books that you can certainly find on Amazon that will help you do that, but you don't have to buy that. I've got study guides that'll help you right now. Just let me know what you need. I'll be glad to share them with you. If you're talking with a customer on a big ticket deal, maybe you're on the phone, and of course that is a private setting, but if you're on a one-person, one-on-one, maybe in an office or out in public somewhere, it's really important that you create a private setting to talk with the customer so that they don't feel like someone else is listening or positioning themselves to hear things or to be nosy. Look for that private setting every time you get a chance. Now, I do most of my business on the telephone now. People will email me, we'll exchange information, but I close the deals on the telephone mostly now all over the United States. And I've got one deal that just kills me because every time I get a customer on the phone, I've got a bulldog, Otis, that likes to stay out here in the office with me. He'll start barking. So I automatically get up and let Otis out, put him outside so that there are no distractions between me and the customer. That private setting is really important. And when I let Otis out, I say to my customer, give me just a moment. Otis is trying to butt into our conversation. Let me let him out. And customer all will laugh and he'll understand. But what he's understanding is mostly I'm taking this conversation very serious because I want it to be a win-win deal for them and for me. Having a private setting is all a part of that. So keep that in mind in your situation. It may go a long way to help you. We got to make them feel important. We got to make them feel important. Show them the love. Remember I said that before? Now, next Wednesday night, we're going to be talking about forecasting and negotiating. Now, none of us have a crystal ball, but we can get close to it. And none of us know how to close every deal, but we can get close to it. And next Wednesday night is going to be fun. So have an open mind. Be ready to learn a lot about forecasting and negotiating because those are two so important skills for an entrepreneur to move their business forward. So until then, let me say, I want you to let your light shine. Let it shine nice and bright. Don't be ashamed of it. Put it out there. I want God to bless you and keep you healthy. I hope you can dodge all the COVID and the other stuff going around. Stay healthy and enjoy the next few weeks and Easter as it's coming along to celebrate our Christ. So good luck to you. Thank you for joining me tonight. I'm going to open up all the microphones, and any of you that have any conversation, I'll be glad to share it with you. Thank you so very much.
And
I know it ain't got.
A call. I'm going to send you an email because I want some more information on one of the businesses you put up was the virtual assistant one.
Well,
so I'll send you an email.
Good. I'll be glad to get that from you. Let me know. Yes, David, do you have something to say? See, David's got his hand up there, but I appreciate you using it. All of you can turn your mics on if you'd like and have him make any comments. Everybody's quiet tonight. Vanessa, how's things in the mountains?
Well, we went from like 80 degrees last week down to the 40s today, so we're all a little nuts. to say the least. But things are going absolutely great.
Well, that's good to hear, and I appreciate you being with us tonight.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
All right. Did my volume, the voice work out all right later on when I moved the microphone around?
Yes.
Okay, good. I got to learn to master that. I don't want people not being able to hear me. Okay, let me tell you, I hope y'all have a great evening. Tisha, you have something to say?
Oh, no.
All right. Well, it's good to see you back, okay? Well, y'all take care. Have a good week. Next week, we're going to negotiate, and we're going to learn how to forecast so we make more money in our business. Good night, everybody. God bless you. Thank you for being with us.
God bless you, too.
All right.
Good night.
Good night.